Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, and it's the unofficial start of the weekend, the last weekend before a holiday weekend. It feels like summer's around the corner, and I'm wearing a hoodie. So, I don't know what is going on in the world, but where I live in the Northeast, we still haven't gotten out of the early spring yet. It rains every day. It's cold. It's windy, and I'm a lacrosse coach. So, there's that. But otherwise, it's an exciting time of year. Hope everyone's doing well. And the message from Student Athlete World is real simple. We are turning the page to 2026 officially. So if you're watching this right now and you're interested in traveling with us in 2026, let's go, people. I want to know who the first commitment's going to be, who that first deposit is, who are we going to announce first. But right now, the slate is blank for all of our tours. And my advice to you, if you're watching this and you have any interest in traveling with us in 2026, go to studentathleteworld.com, check out the tours page. All of our tours are up and running of the tours we know that we're doing so far. There is the possibility that we're going to add additional tours for 2026, but here's the hint I'll give you. There are more tours for 2026 than there are for 2025. We've added a new one, our Albania basketball tour, which I'm really excited about. And our usual slated tours are up and running. So let's go, people. If this is something you thought you have wanted to do, now is the time. There's no better time than the present. Even though we're 13 months away from traveling, we could put you at the front of the line right now. And we're ready to go on our end. Can't wait to start the slate of interviews. Can't wait to meet all the new families. And we're going to make 2026 the best year in student athlete world history. Now, if you're watching this and you're wondering, can I still travel in 2025? The answer is, we will do everything we possibly could to make it happen. Just today, we added a lacrosse family, the Andre family from Alberta, Canada. It just excites me when athletes from other countries choose to travel with us and represent the United States. I don't know why. I find that really, really cool. So we have a few Canadian lacrosse players this year. We have a British women's lacrosse player. We are getting interest from all over the world. I expect that to continue in 2026. So we had a family come to us interested in going to the Lisboa Lacrosse Cup, and we're able to accommodate them. So can we still find room for you in 2025? The answer is yes, but you have to act really quickly because we are literally at the finish line here. And it's one of the best years we've ever had. So thank you to our families who are going. And we're getting there. We're going to travel pretty soon. We're weeks away, which is just see the smile. It's really, really cool. And just some other business. If you have not been paying attention to our social media, all of our coaches have been announced. All of our coach meetings have happened. We had a lacrosse meeting this week and an ice hockey meeting this week, which were both amazing. So the next step is, if you're a traveler for 2025, you're going to be hearing from your coach really soon. We're going to set up team meetings, and which is really the start of our travel season. So I'm really excited for that. So this is the most wonderful time of the year. The school year's almost over. Some of the school year could be over. We're just about to travel. Just a lot of good and amazing things happening. This is the best time of year at Student Athlete World. And I just hope that if you didn't join us for 2025, you join us for 2026, because it's going to be even bigger and better. So now, what in the world? What in the world this week? And Tim, I hope you laugh at this one. Is brought to you by the Beer Pressure Lacrosse Club. Is there such thing as the Beer Pressure Lacrosse Club? Well, of course there is, because I just said that they exist. And I don't even know what to say. So our friends at the Lisboa Lacrosse Club, Pedro, big shout out to you. I'm going to miss you this summer. Hopefully I'll be back in your presence really soon. They're announcing the different participating teams for the 2025 Lisboa Lacrosse Cup. And today they put up an advertisement that one of their teams, a European team, did not say which country, so it could be all of Europe, a totality of Europe team. I want to sound, somewhat intelligent, called the Beer Pressure Lacrosse Club. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I realize that our cohort are old teenagers or young adults, but their logo is really cool. I'm just going to put it out there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the Instagram vehicle for the Lisboa Lacrosse Cup and check out the Beer Pressure Lacrosse Club logo. All I got to say, Pedro, if you're watching, I need a t-shirt. I will wear it gladly. That's all I'm going to say about that is I need that logo on a shirt, and I'll pay for the shipping. I'll pay for the shirt, let alone the shipping. I just love it. I wish I were playing or coaching this team. But just welcome aboard as a sponsor. So what in the world this week is going to take on a more serious tone. If you know me, I'm a lover of all sports, all right? The Olympics are on. I'm watching it all. Right now, what a time. The NFL draft just happened. By the way, I think the Giants did really well. I'm just going to say that. They also have the hardest schedule in the league next year, so who knows what's going to happen with them. But the NBA playoffs are happening. The NHL playoffs are happening. And baseball's, getting rolling. We're in month 2 of baseball season. My Mets are doing real well. So here's the thing. Every sport in my mind has their reason to tune in. All right. I'm an old school baseball fan. I grew up in New York City in the 80s when the New York Mets were king, and I love baseball. But I love baseball for the strategy and the nuance and the detail and kind of the analytical component of the game. I love football because of the smash mouth nature of it, the unpredictability, how each play, while mere seconds each, brings its own level of excitement. All right, and I love it for that reason. I think hockey is the most exciting sport in the world, if you ask me. So I love it for that reason: the speed, the intensity, the contact. And then there's basketball, and I think the way basketball has evolved really ever since Michael Jordan, and I'm old enough to remember when Michael Jordan first came about. Basketball, in my mind, even at the college level, has become a phenom in the sports culture because of the individuals. I'm not saying it's solely an individual game, even though it kind of is. But beginning with Michael Jordan, the sport of basketball, in my opinion, was identified by its superstars more so than any other sport, where you can watch a great hockey or football game without there being real superstars out there, and it's really enjoyable. Even baseball, all right? Basketball, you tune in for LeBron James. You tune in for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the other superstars. I don't need to list them all, but a lot of our families are basketball families, and I really think the NBA especially, but even the college game, has become a lot more about the superstar. And it has allowed the NBA to develop a global appeal that really only soccer enjoys. So they've done a wonderful job promoting their talent. Here's where you run into an issue, and I think the NBA is getting there. Look at the last couple of weeks of the playoffs. All right. Had the Lakers advanced, LeBron James would not have been in the lineup for a while. He had an injury. Damian Lillard, a little over a week ago, I think, tore his Achilles. So we're not going to see Damian Lillard, who, if he wasn't teammates with pound for pound the best guard in the world, Damian Lillard would be, a franchise player in the NBA. And then this week I watched it live. Jason Tatum, from the Celtics, blew his Achilles. Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum, we may not see again until this time next year. They're likely, that Achilles injury is a nasty one. They're done for probably a calendar year. Remember Kevin Durant, not terribly long ago, tore his Achilles. These are really serious injuries. And here's the thing. You're now diminishing the quality of the product for the NBA when you base everything on watching the superstars play and the superstars aren't playing. And so for the NBA, this is almost a gut check moment. I'm not saying there aren't any superstars left in the playoffs. There certainly are. What I'm saying is, if you're going to hang your hat on the best of the best of the best, and those players are not playing, well, how sturdy is the hat? And there's probably a better analogy than that one. But my point is, the NBA has got to almost get back to marketing itself as a team product. Obviously, there are going to be superstar players every year, like any other sport. And there are superstars not in the playoffs anymore. All right. But if you're going to have this playoff tournament and, a guy like a Jason Tatum, who is a game-changing talent, and he's out. Now, this Celtics team is still pretty darn good. They're down 3-2 in their series to the Knicks. I hope the Knicks close it out tomorrow. But watching the Celtics last night, they could use a Jason Tatum, but they're no slouch of a team without him. But the point here is global appeal, mass marketing your product. You're going to build it around names, LeBron, Giannis. When they're not playing, well, then what's left? And that's what the NBA, I think, is facing right now. You have some power players not playing because they're injured. They're not going to be around for a while. But the NBA team game, on the first day is a great game to watch. Some of these close playoff games have been tremendous. The first four games of the Knicks-Celtics series where you saw the Knicks trailing big, only to come back and win 3 of those games, were amazing, regardless of who was out there. Knicks have Jalen Brunson, who I love to watch. He's my favorite Knick at this point. But it's the game that makes it special. LeBron James pops 50 in a game and the Lakers lose by 20. Is that really fun to watch? I personally don't think so. But where the NHL and the NFL and really Major League Baseball in their own ways have mastered their product is the focus is on the game. And you just so happen to have superstar players out there, but it's still the game. The NBA, I feel like, has gone in a more individualistic direction. It's gone on for decades now. It's not a new phenomenon. But the phenomenon now is you've lost some real good players long term. You don't have 20 generational talents in the NBA. It's probably 10, if that many. And when you start to lose some of them, either a guy like LeBron, who's just getting older, still one of the best players in the league, but he's a little long in the tooth there, and now a couple of generational talent kind of players out long-term with injuries, the NBA has to sit there and think to themselves, all right, how do we continue with this mass global appeal if we don't have some of our very best? And the answer is they have to market the games better, because that's where the NBA, in my opinion, falls short. Again, you may disagree. Feel free to do so. That's it for the latest spin. As always, great fun. And since we've turned the page to 2026, as always, how do I get involved? How do I do this? How do I do the coolest thing I'm ever going to do in sports? There is only one way. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. Let's do this in 2026, starting right now. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next Thursday.